Good morning. Welcome to Network 360 channel. On this video, we are covering checkpoint firewall basic configuration with HA mode managed by SMS server, security management server. This is the agenda of today's video. Three installations of checkpoint firewall. Of checkpoint firewall using the Hyper-V server. Hyper-V server, the two installations for the firewall and one for the management server. We are using the software version of R80.40. It's a trial version we are using. When we are downloading the software, we will get a 15 days trial license that we can activate. You can install the firewall with SMS, all the features. We can do hands-on and we can build our own lab. I am using that same 15 days trial I am using for this lab. Checkpoint firewall is a UTM box. UTM box means not only firewall, it's having the AV, IPS, application control, identity management, VPN modules. All blades are includes. This all modules in checkpoint point of view, it's a blades. All blades are included, and these blades we can manage using the SmartConsole. SmartConsole, it's a software. It's using for the managing these blades of the checkpoint. We are installing in the software is we are installing on our Hyper-V environment. In my Hyper-V environment, we are installing. We will install 3 installation, 2 for the checkpoint firewalls, 1 for the management server. Once I will give you a brief. Once we installed, we will get an option to we will get an option for the HTTPS access. Management part for the checkpoint firewall and the management server, SMS server. We have 2 parts. One is for one part is HTTPS. That is for the basic Gaia operating system management. The operating system is using in the checkpoint firewall and SMS server is Gaia operating system. This is customized Linux operating system. So through HTTPS we can manage the Gaia operating system. Over there we can do basic configuration of IP configuration, then the IP routing part, IP configuration routing part. Then we can do the software upgrade, downgrade, VRRP part. So this is the basic things we can do through HTTPS. The blades which I told before, the firewall blade, AV, IPS, identity management, NAT, all the configuration we can do it from the SmartConsole only. SmartConsole we can install it in the separate server, or we can add it in a standalone mode of installation. There is 2 mode of installation we can do: standalone mode and a distributed mode. Standalone mode, what is happening in SMB customers? SMB customers, they can install the firewall with the blades as well as management server in one checkpoint firewall. In today's class, what I am going to do, we are using the distributed mode. That means we have separate management server and the firewall modules. So let me come back. So we have HTTPS on the HTTPS side. We can do the basic configuration like user management, IP routing, and all other or high available other all the things like ClusterXL and Firewall, all the configuration we can do through Smart Console only. Uh, this is the basic things. This is my network topology. So we have two checkpoint firewall 1 and firewall 2, and we have the SMS server. This is SMS server. SMS server means security management server. Um, and we have the management station, separate management station for testing. On the firewall, we have three interfaces: the LAN side and WAN side and sync. Sync interface we are using for the clustering. We are using the ClusterXL. And outside I have another firewall 40 gate, and from there we are getting the internet. So today's class, what we are going to do, we will configure the basic configuration, and we will do the configuration of all the interfaces, installation part from the SMS. From the SMS server is we are using for the Smart Console. As I told before, all the checkpoint firewall and SMS server is using the same operating system, the Gaia operating system. Gaia operating system is a custom build of Linux based. That operating system we can manage through HTTPS browser. From the HTTPS browser we can do basic all the IP routing interface level and user management, VRRP, and backup and upgrade. This all things we can do through the HTTPS only. The firewall, the UTM features, firewall, AV, IPS, and all the blades we can manage using the Smart Console installed in SMS server. Today's class we are discussing distributed mode. Distributed mode means firewall and the management server is two separate server, two separate type of installation. So this is the topology. So next what we are going to do, we have to download the checkpoint firmware software. It's easily we will get, if you go to the Google and download checkpoint latest software, checkpoint firewall software, you will get that one. So this is the link. "15 days trial license we will get. We can utilize that trial license for all our lab work." Oh my god. Okay, it will not work because from the this is the management station 8.11, which I'm giving the presentation. This is the management server, and now the gateway is down. 8.70 is my gateway. is my gateway. Gateway is down. That's why I'm not able to reach the internet. In my case, I already downloaded the firmware, the software. What we are going to do, we are installing the checkpoint and SMS server in Hyper-V environment. The minimum requirement we will get on the portal. When you go to the portal, you can go to the release note and you will get what is the minimum requirement for the open server or other servers, other type of appliance. So in my case, I am using the 2 virtual CPU. This is a minimum requirement is saying 8 gig, but I am using only 4 gig, and 110 disk space for the security gateway, and 4 GB 2 virtual GPU for the SMS server. But in my lab, I am using, because it's a lab purpose only, 4 GB and 54 gig RAM and 50 GB HDD and NIC, 3 NIC, 3 NIC, 1 NIC for the SMS. So when we are starting installation, first we have to install the management server. How is our workflow? First we will install the management server. After that we will access the HTTPS. We will do the required changes. Then we will, after the HTTPS the configuration, we will download the SmartConsole from the HTTPS window. I already downloaded in my case. Then we will start to installing the Checkpoint Firewall 1 and Firewall 2. This is the way. After the Checkpoint Firewall 1 and Firewall 2 installed Gaia operating system, we will access the HTTPS, do the basic configuration. Later we will add the Checkpoint Firewall to the management server. Checkpoint Firewall and management server is using trusted communication. That's called SIC, security interconnection. So we will create the SIC. Once we created the SIC, then the SmartConsole, we can manage both the firewall, Checkpoint Firewall 1 and Firewall 2. Once established the SIC connection, we can see both. Then we will make a cluster of these two firewalls. We are going to use ClusterXL. 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 Then we will verify the clustering part from the CLI of the firewall. How it will be, what is the status, and all these things. Cluster part, basically it's a direct connectivity between the two firewalls. That in my case, sync interface I am using. And the traffic will sync the traffic as well as state. It's a state, all the state informations. Like if one firewall is down, it's a transparently the user will not come to know, okay, what happened. The second firewall will take over all the traffic. State information, it's syncing from the active to passive, active and standby. Its mode, it's active and standby. Based on the priority, the firewall become as a active or standby. Priority we can manage by the in the SmartConsole. We can we will go through that steps. So once the cluster is built, all the state configurations, state configurations will sync, or state and routing, all the configuration will sync to the standby firewall. So whenever if there is a hardware failure or software or hardware failure, something happen on one firewall, the switchover will happen and the traffic will go through the second firewall. This is happening transparently. So users will not get affected. No need to change any IP or any configuration. It's no need to do any configuration changes. It will do automatically. Only the which configuration is not syncing, user authentication. That is, we will check it out. That's a deep level. The user authentication part will not sync with the standby device. That user, one more time he have to connect. So let's start the installation. So this is my Hyper-V manager. Right click, I'm going to create virtual machine. As I told before, I already downloaded the package software. Okay, I'm giving the CPU one. Okay, first we have to do SMS one. generation 1, 4 GB RAM. In my case, I'm using the one interface and VLAN based. So lab we are using for the LAN side and WAN side, separated by the VLAN ID. Switch I already created. So I will select the lab. I will give only 50 gig. Browse R80.40. So this server we are going to use as SMS server. We will verify before that. Virtual processor we will increase to 2. Memory 4 GB. For the management server, we require only one interface. Okay, our LAN interface is my VLAN 800. Install Gaia operating system. Gaia is operating system. So now we are installing the Gaia operating system. This is same for this operating system, same for the management as well as firewall. What is the difference between the management, the SMS and firewall? On the firewall, after the Gaia, we will install the blades. We required which blades, that all we will configure and install. In management server, after installation of the Gaia, we will install the login part, management server product only. So Gaia plus management with the management server, management software, it is for the management. For the firewall, Gaia plus all the blades. I will this will be US I will use the default settings. Password. This is the default admin password. As per our my diagram, we are going to use as SMS servers 8.75. 8.254, it's my gate. Okay. I will pause the video once the installation started. When we are now the package is core operating system copying only, and installation will start. When the next window will come, I will start the recording. I will pause now. We will get the option for we got the option for the HTTPS. Now system is starting. Once the system is started, we will go to HTTPS for the Gaia operating system. After that, we can download from the Gaia operating system the SmartConsole. Screen. We'll try. Okay. So we are getting information. In order to configure your system, please access the web UI and finish the first time wizard. Okay, so now we will go to the web UI and we will finish the first time wizard. We will open the browser https 192.168.8.75. Okay, we'll got the certificate warning. That's okay. Now we will enter username and password. This is a first time wizard. Checkpoint first time wizard. Okay, we are using as open server. Continue with R80.40. That's okay. And configuration Ethernet 0 8.75. Okay. Host name I will change to SMS1. DNS I will put public. Time zone okay. Here is the installation type. Do you want to select security gateway and management? So this is a management server. The second one is multi-domain. We are not using the multi-domain in this lab. Multi-domain means it's a different one. We'll discuss in later videos. Security gateway and management installation type. We will select security management, and this is the product. If we select the security gateway, this is for the firewall and all the blades. So it's SMS only, we require security management. So primary only. No need to send the details to checkpoint for this lab. If you have the different management server, we can configure secondary or log event, whatever. In my lab, we are configure as the first one, it's a primary. And keep settings enabled, ensure smooth operation of. Okay, are you want to continue? Yes. So this is the default admin. If you want, we can create a new user. I'm using the admin only. This is the access, GUI access, from which IP. You can specify the management station IP or IT department IP, subnet, or range of IPs you can give. This is a trusted IP. From this IP only you will get the access to the GUI. Okay, first time configuration wizard summary is here. So your device will be configured with the following products. Security management. It's a primary security management. We are not installing the firewall or other blades. It may take some time. So meanwhile, we will start to install our firewalls. 2 firewalls we have to install. I'm going to pause. So our management server is running. Now we are going to create the firewall. It's the same procedure. Checkpoint 501. The minimum memory and the virtual CPU NIC, everything is written on the web page where you are downloading the software. Over there you can see the release note. But for the lab, as per the document, it is requested 8 gig. I have some memory constraints in my lab. That's why I'm giving 4 gig only. Okay, lab 50 gig. ISO, same ISO, because Gaia operating system is same for all. For the firewall, we require 3 interfaces. So this is the checkpoint firewall 1. So we require the LAN side, inside and outside, and sync interface. So 3 interfaces we require. Settings, memory is okay, processor we will increase to 2. Now NIC, first one we will give us our internal VLAN 800. External VLAN 999. Then the sync interface. Sync is a private interface. Okay, we will double confirm. Memory 4 gig, 2 processor and 3 NIC. Start. This is the same steps for the same step as SMS. So I am going to pause. Once installation finish, we will continue through the first time we saw. That time we will continue. This step is different from the management server because we have 3 interfaces. ETH0, we have to choose which is the management. Choose the port you would like to use for the managing system. So ETH0 is in our case. Later all is same. So management station first time wizard is finished. Now we are getting the window to login. Also, as per our diagram, we installed checkpoint firewall 1. Now the second firewall is rebooting. So we already got the 8.71, it's rebooted. We can get the HTTPS. We will go and try to get .70. Okay. We'll see what's happened in the Hyper-V. Firewall. Now we will see show. We have to see which is the management interface. So ETH0 is our management interface. ETH0, it's our IP is 192.168.8.71. Show interface ETH0. Okay, instead of 8, I wrongly give 1.71. So we have to change set interface ETH0, set interface ETH0. What we are going to IPv4 address 192.168.71. Then the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, now we have to see it's affected or not. Show interface ETH0. Okay, it is changed from 1.71 to 8.71. We have to save. Okay, now we should get the management interface, HTTPS interface from our management station. So instead of this one, what you call instead of instead of 8.71, we put the wrongly a 1.71. So we change that one to 8.71. Now we will check our HTTPS access for. Yes, we got it. So this is a first time wizard for our firewall. These all steps are same. Open server. Okay, we can give 192.168.8.254. This is our gateway. So ETH0, it's connected to our management side, LAN side. ETH1 will configure through after the first time we start. Okay, CP1 timing, security gateway. So it's the same like security gateway or security management. Here we have to deselect security management, and this is a part of cluster. You need part of ClusterXL because ClusterXL, the HA high availability we are configured through using the ClusterXL or VRRP. We are going to use ClusterXL. So both the firewall we will give only the product security gateway and part of security ClusterXL. This one it's not required. This is the one secure communication to management server. In order to communicate the firewall and management server, there is a secure communication that's we call SIC. It's we have to configure that one in the firewall side. The same password we have to configure in the management SmartConsole also. Then only the secure communication, the secure tunnel will be up and working. Okay, so we'll give the okay, next. No need. So we are going to install, before we install the management server, now we are installing security gateway. Security gateway is the Gaia's operating system, which we can use. We can install the above the security gateway. We can install the blades, so UTM blades, firewall, all. Okay, so first time wizard, it's going on for the first firewall. Second firewall, I hope we will get. It's 8.72. Okay. I believe this also we entered wrongly the IP. We'll go to the Hyper-V and check it out. CP2. It's correct. 192.168.72. We should get okay, sorry, it took some time. So same way of first time configuration as the first firewall. I will post the video. After the first time wizard, we will continue. So now the first time installation is finished. First time you must restart the system in order to clear. Okay, we will restart and wait for the boot up. Now our first time installation wizard is completed. All the three installation. This is 8.75. This is our SMS security management server. Then 8.71 firewall 1, 8.72 firewall 2. So we'll log in. It's a management server. From here, manage software blade using SmartConsole. We have to download SmartConsole and we have to install it in our management station. In this case, 8.11 is my management station. I already downloaded the software SmartConsole. Now you can see all the blades, nothing is activated. Here we can see on the we can download the SmartConsole. So we'll log into our firewalls. This is a firewall 1. It's as I discussed earlier. There is two part. One is Gaia 1. It's another one is from the blades. So the blades, now all blades is not activated. On the Gaia portal you can see the management, network management, system time and SNMP, all these things. Then the routing part, then the user management, high availability, maintenance, upgrade. These options only we will get from the Gaia portal. Other all the things which we like more blades, firewall, IPsec, IPS, all we have to do through the SmartConsole, which will download and we will open. Before that, firewall 1 and 2 we have to give the IP. ETH1, ETH0 it's internal, ETH1 it's external. So ETH1 192.168.201.4. Done. And ETH2 sync interface 1111./30. Okay, so interface level, first level is done. So we will do it for the second firewall. Sync is 1112. Okay, so interface level configuration is done. We'll see the routing part. Default route should be 192.168.201.2. One 192.168.201.2. Okay, we have to do here also system management, static route. 192.168.201.2. Let's see one more time. Okay, so that is the. So now from the HTTPS portal, we change the interface name and IP we added. We can also configure the DNS. DNS is the host name. Okay. We added the static route. So 2 firewalls, we change the interface routing in the management console. Also interface, only one interface is required. Default route should be internal, it's correct. So I downloaded a SmartConsole. We'll start the configuration from SmartConsole. So this is a SmartConsole. I downloaded and installed admin and 75 it's a management server. We'll give the password. We will create a cluster for the firewall 1 and firewall 2, and we will create virtual IPs for the cluster. We will create the sync interface. Once cluster everything is up, we'll create a policy from internal to external. Okay. Partition var has okay, this is because I reduced the size of hard disk because I gave only 50 gig as per the release note. Its minimum is 110 gig. So that's why it's okay. For the lab purpose, it's okay. I can see that only SMS server, it is 8.8.75 license. It's 15 days license, trial license we are using. The blade, policy management and logging, these two blades only is there. So management server is up. Gateway service, we are going to create our cluster. I'm going to use the wizard mode. Cluster IP address. This is the IP 8.70. So this is the virtual IP for the management and the internal traffic. 8.70. We have option for the VRRP, other options, but I'm going to use ClusterXL. ClusterXL high availability mode. There is two mode, high availability and load sharing. So load sharing mode not supported IPsec VPN. Okay. What is the main difference? High availability, it is active and standby mode. Load sharing, it's all the devices will be active and using the multicast address. It will the traffic will segregate to all the devices, and one of the PV8 will take care. That is a different part. We can cover that one later videos if it's required. In this video, we are going to cover high availability. High availability means one member will be the active, another member will be the standby, and all the states, all the states, all the configuration will sync each other. If there is any down on the firewall 1, user will, it's transparently it will change to firewall 2. User will not come to know. Okay, there is no need to change any configuration side from the management admin side. It will automatically take the traffic to the next firewall. So 8.70 is our IP, cluster IP for the LAN. Okay, so we are going to now we are adding our members. CP1. You remember that SIC, secure end-to-end communication. The SIC is communication between the trusted communication between the firewall and the management server. So CP1 IP is 8.71. Okay. Activation key. This is the key which when we are deploying time, the first time wizard, that time is asked, okay, enter the SIC key. This is a one-time key only because of the communication between the firewall and the management. So trust state is uninitialized. We will initialize. Okay. Now we can see status. Everything is okay. It's communicating. Trust is established. So we have to add the next member, CPU2. Eight dot 72, okay, and the password, SIC password, initialize. Done. Next stage is configure the topology of the cluster. So we have to configure the cluster topology. Okay, this is okay. Subnet, this is 192.168.1.0 subnet. This is for the cluster synchronization. because we are using this subnet for the cluster synchronization. The topology we are building 201.0 it's our external. So cluster interface 201.0, what will be that? 201.3 virtual IP. Three 8. Okay. Okay, 192.168.8.70. 255.255.255.0. So we added the cluster. After the created the cluster, we added our firewall 1 and 2. We will see what's configuration. Okay, name is cluster members. This is the priority. So right now CP1 having the high priority, so CP1 will be the active and CP2 will be standby. If you want to change, we can do the changing from here. We are using ClusterXL. Okay, it's a basic configuration. We don't use. We are using active passive. Now network management. So sync interface 1.1 in CP1, 1.2 in CP2, external interface 201.3, 201.4, 201.5. 3 is the virtual interface. You can see that one. 3 is interface, 4 and 5. Okay, that's also good. Seems to. This is a internal interface. On this, so this is our internal network. We can edit cluster 80 7171. Okay. Okay, anti-spoofing is enabled. By default, anti-spoofing is enabled. Okay, if tomorrow if you have more interfaces, you can bring the interfaces to the smart console using get interface with topology or without topology. Topology means it's internal, external, and here you can see that we can do more configurations like what is the IP and anti-spoofing, what is the things QoS and advanced. All these things you can do. So interface level is done. NAT on this lab, we are not touching the NAT. Okay, cluster, CP1 cluster, CP2 cluster, it's part of cluster, and the 23 changes was there, so we will try to install, publish. We have all the policy changes we have to do through the smart console. Once do the smart console policy or blade related all the things, then we have to publish. After that we have to install. Okay, access control. Okay, it's going to install. Okay, we installed, and now we can see our all the cluster CP1, CP2, everything is up and running. Very good, all green. Now our the device is added, cluster is up and running. We will configure a policy for our internet access. Here on the left side, first tab is for the devices and all the members. Second one is for the security policy. Here we can see policy, normal policy, access control. It's a NAT policy, then the threat prevention. After that, global policies, geo policy, and all. On this video, we are covering the basic normal ACL. So first policy is a cleanup rule. It's drop any to any. I'm going to create a new rule. LAN to outside. My LAN will be 192.168.8.0. 8.0. Okay. No need NAT, because as per my diagram I am using the NAT in my 40K firewall. So the management station, I will try to ping. The gateway is 8.70. I will try to ping from here to the outside. Okay. Destination any, destination VPN services any, action instead of drop accept. We can do the log here, installation on the cluster. So whatever the changes we did, now we can option to discard, or this is the session, the 7 changes was there. So publish means saving. In old format it's saving, it's publish. After the publish, now publish means it is saving in the management server in the SmartConsole. Installing, we have to install the 7 changes to cluster the firewall directly. So let me go to cmd ipconfig 8.70. I'm pinging to 4.2.2.2 -t. Installation is going on. We should come to know. Yeah, success, and we got the access to the internet. Now we will get internet access. So we configured SMS, firewall and firewall 2 in cluster mode, and we created the basic policy to internal to external, and now we are able to reach the outside. Now we will do basic troubleshooting. So we installed our firewall in the cluster, then the security policy we pushed. On the logs we can see our traffic. Next part, we'll go to the CLI SSH to the firewall and the management server. We will do some of the show commands, and we will check what is the status of our cluster, which is active, which is passive, and do we monitoring any interfaces, we will go our list. Okay, so we installed. Now we have to do verify the cluster status, verify using CLI. So firewall 1. So best practice, always create expert mode. So the base OS, as you know, that's a Gaia operating system. If you want to do debugging or more configuration changes, we have to go with expert mode. It's the same like in Cisco. It's user mode and configuration mode, same like. So expert mode. So if I enter expert, it is saying that set expert password first. Repeat here. So its prompt is changed to expert mode. Now we will see that what is the status of our cluster. That is the first part we have to see. Okay, verify. This is the command cphprobe stat. Okay, so from the CPU we are with CPU1, it's locally standby. CPU2 is active. We can see here. Over here you can see local is active. So let's say we will open. You can see cphprobe status command. This is the sync interface. This is a sync interface one by one. It's reachable, and our device is active. Our device is standby and another device is active. This is a last member state. The details of the failover count. Last time, one time is failover because we restarted. That's why it is the failover count is happened. So normally the cluster interfaces, the cluster interfaces 1 bar 1 and to 1 bar 2. This traffic is for the syncing. This is for the syncing. This is for the syncing happening. 1 bar 1 to 1 bar 2 and both. It's using it's L2 protocol, but it is using UDP 8116 is the protocol. The port is using for the cluster communication. For the cluster communication, it is using UDP 8116. We can see our interface level, which interfaces it's we can do the interface monitoring. If any one of the interface link monitor is going down, the cluster will move from active to passive. So let's say you have the WAN interface and LAN interface and DMC. So the LAN interface, one of the interface, it's active member. We can monitor the interface. If that interface is going down physically or some happen, then the cluster will move to active to standby. So we can see the interface level. That also we can see CPHA, PROB, CPHA probe minus A if. So this is the interfaces. We are using ETH0 and ETH1, and the S means the sync interface, and ETH0 it's up, ETH1 also is up. CCP, the cluster control protocol, CCP is using the for the ClusterXL. Port I told you, port is using UDP 8116, communication between the active and passive, active and standby. So next one, so we all know that CPHA probe. Okay, great. Sorry. Now interface level we verified. Okay, critical services. Okay, if cluster is down, that means there is some critical services is down, because we are monitoring all the critical services. The cluster is monitoring all the critical services. If any device's critical services is down, then cluster will change the status to down state, like status, this state is active and standby, right? If any critical services is down, then this state will be down, and other will be the active will be active attention state. Okay, we can see our CPHA PR. Okay, in this command you will come to know, okay, what is the status. Sync is okay, policy is okay, routing is okay, forward firewall is okay, CPHAD is okay, VSX is okay, init is okay. So if any one of them is down, then the cluster status will change to down state. If you face any problem, you have to verify like this, step by step. We have to do monitoring of our interfaces. So first of all, we will see our interface level. Okay, CPHA probe minus A if, so it's it's sync interface, ETH0 and 1 is not monitoring. Okay, commands, link monitoring. First we'll see state command, and we will see any link monitoring configuration is there or not. No file. Okay, the second one, create monitoring using the touch command. Creating the config file directory, going to conf. Okay. So now we created. Now we have to edit. VI editor we can use. Here we have to add our both the interfaces, which is ETH0 and ETH0 for the LAN, ETH1 for the WAN. We will add both the interfaces. ETH. Okay. For VI editor, if you want to add, first we have to press the insert button. So we can see the insert mode is activated. ETH0, ETH1. Now for saving, semicolon quit. Oh, sorry. You have to remove the click the escape, then exit. Okay, so we added the both the interfaces ETH0 and ETH1. Okay, save the configuration and reboot the cluster. We can see that if there is a, so we added. Now we will do, okay, this is the configuration which we can see. So there is a file, and we have to do save config. Oh. Exit, save config, then reboot. So CP1 it's going to reboot. Meanwhile we will do CP2. Because link monitoring we have to do it in both the firewall. So now it's other one is down. That's why you can see inbound and outbound is down, because other firewall is it's rebooting. So the same process we will continue. First, okay, we know there is, so we will create configuration file, then the VI because we will open the Ethernet 0 link monitoring, Ethernet 1 link monitoring, and S4 syncing. So 3 interface, 2 interfaces we are monitoring the interfaces. Third one it's a sync interface. CP2 we didn't do the configuration for the link monitoring, so we will continue. We will create a configuration file. After that we will edit that file, create it. Then we will do the VA editor we will use to edit the configuration file, and then after that we will add the Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1. If you have the for VA editor, insert ETH0, ETH1, escape, QUIT, get. Okay, so we will see if editor VA editor we already exited. We will see the configuration of link monitoring. Okay, it's already there. So we have to save and reboot. After rebooting, we can see that the interface, 2 interfaces with the link monitoring. Why we want to use the link monitoring? If the interface is down, then if monitoring interface is down, then the HA part will change from active to passive. Let's say HA active member 1 interface is faulty, then the HA will move active to passive, active to standby. After reboot, we will check it out. We will verify. Okay, active and standby. It's rebooted. We want to see our monitoring interface. Ethernet 0 it's monitoring, Ethernet 1 is monitoring, Ethernet 2 is sync interface. So now both the side we are doing the link monitoring also. So we will conclude our session, today's session. We created the cluster, we added the cluster members, we created the security management server. Security management server, we can see that the network policy management as well as logging. Then on the cluster we have two modules, firewall and site-to-site module. Policy, our internal LAN 192.168.0 to any destination. In our case, the NAT is doing FortiGate. So in this video we are not covering the NAT. Next video we can cover the NAT from the checkpoint side. You can see the log monitor. Log is there. So we conclude our today's session. We installed two firewall, checkpoint firewall in cluster managed by management server. After that we we configured properly for the policy and cluster and SIC integration, security interconnection from the management SMS to both the firewalls. We tested the traffic from the management station to external. We created the link monitoring, ClusterXL properly we tested. We created the policy also. So we'll conclude the session. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any query about this topic, please comment, do the comments. Thank you for watching.